Hounds of Heaven. Welcome back in to the David L. Gray Show, Off Code and Unscripted. I have one thing for you today. We have to talk about these pictures that keep coming across our social media feeds of these sodomite blessings. These Fiducia, Supplicans blessings, these spontaneous blessings, so-called, of sodomy, of sodomites. And you see these pictures, man, and you're like, what? Who? Why? How did we get to this point? What I'm about to say needs to be said, and nobody's saying it. What this stuff is really about, and what we can do to just stop this thing in its tracks right now. This is off code. I don't have many notes here. I got a couple that I just need to get in. So it's unscripted, but it's raw. I hope it's coherent. And I hope it takes me just 10 minutes to get it in. But let's see. Let's start the clock now. Hounds of Heaven. I'm gonna cut to the chase for you real quick and just tell you what this is about. If you belong to what I call Fiducia Supplicans Parish, where any of your priests there, a pastor, associate pastor, anyone there is desecrating a sacred space by celebrating these sodomite blessings, you need to leave. You need to leave as fast as people in the UK left the European Union through the Brexit. As fast as back in 2016, Candace Owens and the Black Republicans were promoting something called CLEXIT. That's blacks leaving the Republican Party, and a lot of black men did, as you see that today. What's going on now? You need to get out. There needs to be a CLEXIT. Why? It's not because of the priest himself. I mean, there's a little bit, I think there's a bit of being like a little refreshed about a priest celebrating or offering this sodomite blessing, because at least, we know that he's gay. We know that because only a gay person would do something that's gay. Only a skittle would do something that's skittle. No straight heterosexual man would ever do something like this. Right? So that's a fact. So it's kind of refreshed. Oh, we hear like 50-80% of priests are same-sex attracted. I kind of thought father was. Now we know. Only a skittle will do something that's skittle as a sodomite Fiducia Supplicans blessing. But at the same time, the reason why, you have to get out is not because of him. Because we believe in what's called ex opere operato. We believe that the sacrament that is efficacious because of the work being worked. The sacrament belongs to Christ, not the priest. So his disposition doesn't matter. What matters in the sacrament is our disposition, our free will, our worthiness to receive the sacrament. So it's not because of that. There's something else going on here. The problem is that the wrath of God is going to come upon that parish. If your priest is in there desecrating the church, if he's in there doing the work of an evildoer, the wrath of God is going to come upon your parish. And you need to get out of the way, just like the people who got out the way at Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, you could be like Abraham and try to intercede. God, can you save 10? That's fine. But I'm telling you, you need to get out. The scriptures are clear about the wrath of God coming upon those who do evil. We can go to Psalm 34, which is my favorite psalm. In verse 34, chapter 34, verse 16, it says, "The face of the Lord is against evildoers, to cut off their remembrance from the earth." Don't be caught with those people. You better get caught up in the plane crash that's coming down. In Psalm chapter 101, verse 8, it says, "Morning by morning I will destroy all the wicked in the land, cutting off all evildoers." Don't get caught up with them when the wrath of God comes. In Colossians, it says, starting chapter 3, verse 5, "Put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you, immorality, impurity, passion, evil desires, covetousness, which is idolatry, on account that the wrath of God is coming." So if you want to get caught up in the wrath of God that's coming upon these Fiducia Supplicans parish, go ahead, stay. But I'm telling you, you need to leave, just because there's so much demonic activity in the world. And there's nothing more demonic than these Fiducia Supplicans blessings, or these blessings of sodomite couples. What happens when these goes on in these parishes is complete desecration, and it invites Satan and his demons into that church. The priest's vestments and anything that has been involved in that demonic blessing may become demonically possessed, even the persons themselves. So you need to get out of there. This is evil. You're protecting your soul by getting out of these evil places, these possessed places. You should no more be in a Fiducia Supplicans parish than you are in a Masonic temple. And clearly you would know, I think a lot of people know why that's just a no-go. Never go to any places, a Shriner Circus, nothing that's involved with that type of demonic activity. Don't hang around, have lunch in a Planned Parenthood. This just makes basic common sense. So don't be in a Fiducia Supplicans parish. You're putting your whole life at risk. Exorcists such as Father Ripperger, they're talking about, exorcisms that used to take maybe a few hours, maybe a day at most. Exorcisms now are taking 2 to 4 years to exorcise these demons. Why? Because there's just a normalcy of evil in the world now. What you thought was evil is just normal. It's just part of evil is part of the ordinary milieu now. 50 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, no one would have thought that what's going on now in the Catholic Church and all this normalcy of homosexuality brought by Pope Francis over the last 10 years is just normal behavior. All these skittle bishops and cardinals and priests and blessings and these meetings with these people, this is just strange, okay? But this is the normalcy of evil in the world. You see it in governments, in universities. In universities now, used to have, if you're a skittle, you can more easily get a position. You can more easily become a president. There's an advantage towards being an evil person in the world now, because being evil is normal. This is part of the reordering that we see throughout the world, the normalcy of evil. Some people call it a new world order, but it's the normalcy of evil throughout the world. So everything we have to look at suspicion today. So have deep suspicion if this type of evil is coming into your parish. You have to leave and save yourself and save your whole household. Again, you could be like Abraham and intercede and ask, oh Lord, don't bring your wrath upon this place. But if you haven't been called to intercede like that, if you're not called to that beatitude, to be a peacemaker, to intercede for the Lord in that way, get out. This is a big problem that's going on in the Catholic Church. We see it has a lot to do with just the accountability. There's just no accountability in the Catholic Church. And so by leaving, by exiting, by CLEXITing out of these types of parishes, I think another important reason is that we do promote this type of accountability. Because you see, even with Fiducia Supplicans, maybe half of the bishops in the whole world have said no. This is not a magisterial document. This is not part of the magisterium. But every week, Pope Francis is coming out, doubling down, tripling down, defending this document, okay? Because there's no accountability in the church. The higher, a person's position is, and this is in a lot of different industries, a lot of different organizations, the higher up the food chain you are, the less accountability that there is. If you're a priest celebrating the traditional Latin Mass, you're critiquing Vatican II, you're gone. But if you're a pope teaching heresy, you stay. Okay. So there's just no accountability in organizations throughout the world. That's including in our church, and we see that. So by exiting places like this, I think we send a signal that there needs to be accountability. There is a consequence. The chickens are coming home to roost. You just aren't going to treat us like this. You aren't just going to make our sacred space desecrate and bring demonic activity in it. So we have to reject this realignment of this new world order of the normalcy of evil in the world. And this is one way how. In fact, this is really our best option, I think, that we have. Because again, people say, well, don't donate your money. As I always say, the Vatican doesn't need your money. They have plenty of money. Even the bishops in the United States, they have plenty of money to get it from the governments. Look at what Catholic Charities is doing at the border, right? So They get their money from other places. China is giving the Vatican $10 billion a year or something like that. It's crazy. So they don't really need our money. They can get money from other sources. Okay, so it's I think we have to. The CLEXIT, the Brexit, the Blexit is about feet. It's about action. It's about leaving something and taking a stand. Some people would suggest, oh, there needs to be, maybe this is a litmus test. Maybe we need to ask our priests, hey, would you do the Fiducia Supplicans blessings? Maybe there should be some sort of litmus test. I don't know about that. I really don't. I believe in litmus tests. I always tell young men, your first date, or even when you meet a woman that you're attracted to, the first question is not her name. It's hey, when is a good time to murder a child? If she says anything other than never, leave. Don't go out on a date or the second date. Just drop it right there. Don't date serial killers. Don't date serial killers. I don't care if she says, well, I believe that, if she get a test and, the test comes back that the baby's going to be born with like 5 eyes and 8 legs and 1 toe. Yeah, she should abort that baby because it's not, if she, no, don't date serial killers. Don't date people who make excuses to take life, right? That's demonic. So I do believe in litmus tests sometimes, but I don't know if this is one that we should give our priests. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I just said maybe this is something I need to think about. This is just off script. I'm just fleshing these things out. But that's out there. Maybe we should ask priests, your pastor, hey, would you? So yeah, that's where I'm at on this whole thing, man. These pictures of these pictures that keep coming up, these spontaneous Fiducia Supplicans blessings. If you belong to Fiducia Supplicans parish, you just need to go, get out, and don't look back, or else, you may turn to sand. But anyway, this is David L. Gray, off code, unscripted. And remember, Jesus loves you and is there for you. So live your life like salvation matters, because it's all that does. Live your life according to the Beatitudes. It's our best way to be a reflection of Christ in the world. So hope you do. And I'll see you next time. Let's keep each other in our prayers. And I'm out.